Hi all, Eric Mashinsky here. Sunday night. We're into October already, October 1st, and this is an update. Welcome to all of our new readers and viewers at the Phenom Crypto Letter. We've had quite a bit of growth in the last several weeks and not a lot of content put out by myself. So quickly, I want to give a little update on the market and then talk to you a little bit about what I've been doing and options for you that you have if you like. First of all, I do regularly and will regularly talk about the crypto markets, especially as we have any sort of real movement when it's dormant. I have slowed, admittedly, but with the new flow of people that we have here, I will be regularly talking about these markets. And for those of you that have been around for a while, you know the strategy. My biggest, the biggest way that I think I can help those of you that are listening in is to encourage you during a time like this when everybody's wiffle waffling around about whether Bitcoin's going to 23,000 or 20,000 or 32,000 or whatever. Look, my philosophy and the way that I operate here is that Bitcoin is either going into the millions or it's going to zero. Not much else really matters. To get into the millions, we're going to need a couple more cycles. I think we probably see, and my target in the next bull cycle over the next 18 months or so is $150,000 Bitcoin. So let's say you bought some today, which is Bitcoin's moving. I'm going to share my screen also and show you just some of the trading positions that I have on through MEXC, which I'll share this link because if you do want the ability to have some perpetual futures and or just be able to buy a lot of the smaller obscure tokens that I end up recommending, Binance is not an option for a lot of us like in the United States. So MEXC is a good one, and you also get a kickback on any of the fees that they charge you if you use the code that I have. I forgot if it's 20% or 10%, but you get that back for literally using the code and then signing up through MEXC. But and I will show you that in a second. But the reality is that I see so many mistakes. I've been in this business. I've been in the investing business since I was 20 years old as a stockbroker who dropped out of undergrad. And I've been involved in capital markets ever since, venture capital, tech. I do a lot of things in the public markets still in terms of equities, with particularly in the mining industry. I have another newsletter, goldinvestmentletter.com. And so 50-50 really at this point, my own personal assets are in crypto and in metals and mining. And obviously I have some real estate and some other things, but this sector in crypto, I feel like I get it. I've got a great handle on it. And those that, have been here following me through the last cycle, watched us just crush it. Okay. So this time around, I was publicly, and it's actually on my Gold Investment Letter YouTube, but back in January, early January, even before Christmas, I was pounding the table to start putting even emergency funds to work into crypto. And that was when Bitcoin was still around 16,000. So we had that big move, and then we've been frustratingly consolidating. And the risk is that it lulls us to sleep, or that we nitpick about whether or not we're going to catch a bottom. You're never going to catch a bottom. And if you're going to just trade crypto and think you're going to out trade crypto, you're pretty much you should probably just go and give your money to your dog, because it's very difficult to do. And the one of the main reasons why I was able to have between 125x and 650 times my money on 8 tokens in 2021 alone was because I did not try to out trade the crypto market. I took big risks in markets like right now. And for premium members, so just for you that are new, let me tell you, if you are really wanting to get into this crypto thing, I would highly recommend, and I'll put a link here as well. I would highly recommend that you look at the premium subscription, because the premium subscription is where I recommend individual, small, sometimes very small, sometimes large cap tokens, and many more than I do here. You will get those ideas. Like the last major recommendation that I made here was a couple of months ago, and it was Thorchain Rune at $1.25. Which today, let me just go to my screen, because I actually, it makes you feel good when you've got some serious, here we go, when you've got some serious gains on the books. Let's check it out. There we go. So this is my MEXC futures account. I'm not a futures or leverage guy or margin guy typically, but I have taken an isolated amount of capital and used the leverage on MEXC. And you can see my unrealized P&L right here. I've got BTC 7.5 that I bought, just a couple days ago, 26,654. These are not my core positions. I'm mostly focused on accumulating core positions. And I'm not going to show you my normal account or any of the accounts, but some of the curated top picks are, I'm going to be coming out with the updates on any of those that we cover and new ones all week for premium members. If you want to get those ideas, just sign up. I mean, it's not a lot of money, but I do a lot of work, and I'm not doing this for charity. I'm doing this to provide a service and provide value. And I appreciate people that, put their hard-earned money to work and ideas that come from, my brain, but also that, are willing to put a little skin in the game so that I know you're serious. And it's not, a ton of money. The 6-month membership is like $777. If you're even playing with a couple of grand, some of these tokens that I pick and that we will have will go up a lot. Okay. One of the big things that I do like to talk about here is strategy, investor psychology, position sizing, how to sell, when to take profits. These are the tougher things, I think, in any vertical that you're going to be in these markets. I'll also, when you're premium, if you have questions about where to buy something, what to do, we do Q&As regularly. I'm going to have one this week, later in the week as well. And so I've gone through all that stuff. Some of it's a pain in the butt, but if you want to fast forward and get in the game, I would suggest, just be in premium, but you're going to get more information here. Once we get a bit of a bid that sticks in this market, we've got, say, for example, there's all kinds of crap because that goes around in the media. Now it's Binance is going to fall and crypto's, Bitcoin's going to 10,000. I'm sorry, but I'm very bullish on crypto. I think that crypto is going to rip everybody's face off any day, any week. Maybe it'll take a couple more months. I don't know exactly, but the way that it has been trading and, just frustrating people and the non-movement, in my experience, these times don't last very long, and it's a great time to be deployed. My biggest message to you today is now is the time to be deploying capital into crypto. So if you're light, you want to own 10 or 15% of your investable assets in crypto. Just take, on half of that number, just buy Bitcoin and Ethereum, split it in half or go 2/3 Bitcoin, 1/3 Ethereum. You don't have to worry about whether this is a hot token or that's a hot token. Those are going to go up so much as long as crypto continues to be adopted the way that it has since 2009 when it was launched. We're going to see higher highs and higher lows. And I think that the current prices, if I did not own much in the crypto department, I would be buying them. You don't have to buy all of them. So when I say 10%, say you have 100 grand to put to work. I'm saying 50 grand of that ultimately could be in, at least you could even do a little more. Just do 25 or 30 and 20 Bitcoin and Ethereum. You don't have to do it all right now, but I would get started. The risk with crypto is that you're going to get left behind when things start to run. The issue is this. Literally, I've told people this on the last run, and so few people prepared. You need to have an account opened up, whether it's Coinbase or here MEXC or wherever, Binance, and you have to have it funded. You don't need to have, if you send fiat currency from your bank over to a crypto exchange, you do not need to doesn't automatically buy you crypto. It goes into usually what's called either your US dollar account if you're American, or Tether USDT, which is it's a cryptocurrency backed by the dollar. If you're in Europe, it depends on the exchanges that you're going in, but you literally, just like a stock account, you have to use those funds and then go buy the crypto. So you're not automatically going into crypto just by opening the account and doing that. But if you wait until things start to fly, say, for example, we get a BlackRock ETF approval or something like this, which is going to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen in the next month or it's going to take another 6 to 9 months. But remember something as well. Markets are forward-looking mechanisms. They are not reflecting what's going on today or in the past. My guess, after doing this for 28 years, is that somewhere around the 6 to 9 month mark in the future is where markets start to behave. They see that and they start to move. So let's just say the BlackRock ETF and a bunch of others are coming down the pipe, and they're going to start with maybe the first one gets approved in 4 months or 6 months or 8 months. This market could start to move right now to reflect that, and just take off. And you're like, what's happening? Well, it's a forward-looking mechanism. It could also be tied to the reality that all governments, all fiat governments, particularly the US hegemony, I believe is what you call it, with the dollar standard and the amount of debt that we have. Well, there's debt defaulting, I think tonight, 33 trillion was some clown show in our government. But the reality is that we are all nations are so indebted on the fiat side that there's no coming back. There's no, when you're at like 120 or 30% of GDP in debt and growing at the pace that we are with deficits, this means one thing. And I think that the Federal Reserve is sticking with this like higher for longer situation to make sure they can actually really squash inflation numbers, because they know that the only lifeboat when we run into any problems again is going to be to turn the printers on, go back towards zero interest rates, and flood the system with helicopter money. And that is what's going to happen again. And it's the only way it's going to work. And then maybe those individuals that are in there, a lot of them are geriatrics now, are going to save their political career with those levers that they could use for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. But it's also going to destroy the dollar. You're also going to see capital controls and things that are going to come into play over the next, 1 to 5 years, that you need to have some money outside of the system. That's the whole point with this. I used to think, well, okay, well, if I put money from Chase into, Coinbase or Binance or here or there, I buy this token on a DeFi wallet, how am I going to get it back out and go back into dollars? Well, it's a valid question. How are you going to get back into euros? It's a valid question. But my prediction is you're never going to want to bring it back into fiat. You're going to want it to be out of the system, because the money here in crypto and in gold, you have a growth element, you have a return that keeps you ahead of the nominal destruction of fiat currency that shows this fugazi monopoly money return. Nominal and real. What are the real returns and what are the nominal returns? This is all stuff that, I'm sure a lot of you are aware of. Some of you may not. I'm just giving you a little bit of background. These are some macro comments, because for me, I started recommending Bitcoin under $500 in the gold investment letter in 2016. You can see on my YouTube how vocal I was before this market took off, especially in 2020. I was buying tokens in an environment like this in 18 and 19, a lot of the tokens that were down 80 to 90%. I chipped away, accumulated in the face of people saying you're crazy or people not wanting to touch it. It's a scam. Listen, it's the same freaking story, but I'm here to tell you that Bitcoin, Ethereum, and crypto in general, and blockchain technology and Web3, it's here to stay. and it's just evolving at a pace that is mind-blowing. Citigroup just came out, they're tokenizing their deposits, which means that you can send finally. I mean, this is the 21st century. You can finally send money around through different bank accounts through the Citigroup platform instantaneously, 24/7. Isn't that how banking should be? What do I have to? I send a wire on a Thursday to Switzerland. It gets there on Monday night. Come on, like this is ridiculous with the Swift code. Anyway, I don't want to go on a rant, but look at, here's just some profits that are happening as we speak. Usually when you get a big one, they do these flashing situations, and I'll show you this. So yeah, wow. Okay, so my Rune position, this one up 25 grand. I only have 50,000 in this one. And I've traded in and out a bit. I was up to as much as 150,000 on the perpetual futures. I have another, I believe it's 110,000 Rune that I have spread out in different accounts that have no leverage, and they're just long-term investments. But I love Thorchain. Thorchain is going to continue to be a monster. I may take some profits off fairly soon, but I'm going to look at the chart, and I'm going to do that right now. Why don't we do that right now? Because I think that there's actually a breakout occurring here. Yeah, it is breaking out 224. I've been waiting for this. So, you go back on this thing, and that's our next stop, probably somewhere in around 3. So I am going to let most of this ride up until the high 2s, and I will take some of the futures bets off the table on Rune. And as you see, I've already got, that's a pretty darn, 300% on my money on this trade with Rune. Bitcoin, 7.5 Bitcoin, it's flashing, but it's only in futures. It's pretty easy to do this. It's also easy to get stopped out and wiped out. Capital calls where you get blown out and you lose everything if it goes below your number. But up 53%, and this all just started to kick into gear, in the last few hours with Bitcoin. I've been sitting on this Bitcoin position since the middle of last week. I didn't have enough conviction to come out and pound the table on doing a trade for Bitcoin. You will see me do that here. I'll give out free trading, ideas. But my biggest concern with the most of you that are newer is just to start getting exposure on the books. And don't worry. And if you're a little more advanced and you want some picks in AI, decentralized science, some of the DeFi or NFT names that are destroyed, that are legit, that are cash flowing and positive, you'll see here I also own. So these are just, freebie ideas. And I have mentioned publicly, I really like Fetch, and Fetch is yet to really break out. I'm actually going to buy more, I think, today. I'm up 24%. And I'm just going to check that. I'm going to double, triple check that chart tonight. But I own Fetch, and I've been buying Fetch in my regular spot account. I would encourage others to do so for some AI exposure. Bitcoin is my biggest position. Ethereum is very close second. Rune, this one, I just came out with this one 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks ago on our whole list and said to buy it at $1.25 to load up. I've put updates out on it, and I'm holding, the bulk of it. I did flip out of some of it, and then I bought some back, and I was messing around a little bit just with the future stuff. With the regular positioning, I haven't touched a thing. And I don't even think that I'll sell any of my core positions at 3. It'll just be to clean up any leverage. Then we've got MEXC. I have a small position in MEXC and Internet Computer. And these are both up. Well, they're up a lot now. I bought these yesterday. When you're buying on leverage and you're doing 5 or 10 to 1 or something, that's why it shows that it's up 44%, because I only put up a very small amount, couple grand, and then I was able to buy 20 grand worth of MEXC. And you have to be prepared to be stopped out, closed out if it goes below a number. I'm fine with it. I just wanted to start chipping on more exposure in the futures because I've had a sense that we're going to start to move. Now, if I flip over, and here's what I'm going to do, I'm going to end this video. I welcome all of you. I would welcome all of you if you want to have an exchange besides Binance that actually you can sign up. It's a very minimal KYC. You still do, I think, want to use a VPN if you're from Canada or the US. I'm also a Mexican citizen at this time, as well as a US citizen. So I tend to log in from my second nation now, Mexico. And if I recall on MEXC, it's like KYC is like an email and a phone number. I don't even think I provided an ID. Maybe I did. I doubt it, but I'm able to trade on here, and they're usually, 9 out of 10 times, whatever I'm looking at, some of the smaller ones, the ordinals, which are down from what I've recommended. I like those a lot. They're very, very cheap. You can get that on MEXC. So if you use that link, you're going to get, I believe it's a 20% kickback on any commissions you get going forward. It's minimally 10%. And you get an expedited approval if you use the referral link, and then obviously I get like a small piece of that, which is nice, but it doesn't really add up to too much. I did that on Binance, and I had like 100 people that used my link, and then they kicked me off, and and I never even got anything. But whatever. I would say with the MEXC, core positioning, I still like Coinbase. If you just are getting started and want to own crypto itself, go there. I'm going to recommend, okay, so here's what I'm going to have on this one. You're going to have the link to the video. You're going to have the MEXC, and then also a link to the premium service. If you want even the update tonight, tomorrow, go ahead and sign up for the premium, because what I'm going to give are updates on tiny tokens that I'm down on pretty big in AI and other ones that you can swoop in. Some of these deals, if I'm correct on them, you really don't have to have a lot of money risked to make a shitload of money. If something goes up, have you ever had 2, 3, 400 times your money? I have multiple times, and I've done this in multiple different markets. But even like a 10x, is a beautiful thing. And you don't need to bet the ranch. The big money should be bet in, the mid caps and Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then you sprinkle on some of the stuff that's very, very high, high potential alpha and very volatile names and very small. So you don't, put some huge positions on, but that can really jack up our return profile. So you can make those choices. Otherwise, what you're also going to get is there is a stock, a crypto stock. It's a micro cap. It's my favorite. I own a lot of money. I have 6 figures in this thing. I'm very familiar with it. I'm familiar with management, and it is an incredible story, and it's sitting around like an orphan stock. And I am going to share with premium members tonight or tomorrow morning. I'm going to give a recap about the fundamentals of this story. So premium members will have a day or two to go ahead and buy some of that stock because it's fairly illiquid. But then I'm going to share it with everybody, and you guys can choose if you want to buy that stock. I never buy miners. Miners are the dumbest thing in the world to buy an equity in, because all you're doing is trying to get Ethereum or Bitcoin or whatever they're mining, and you're paying everybody's salary, you're paying the board, you're paying listing fees, you're paying legal fees, you're paying for equipment fees, you're doing all this shit, and all you really have to do is just go buy the crypto and get used to buying the crypto. This is not going away, folks. Get used to it. God bless. Have a good night. I'll be back to you all soon. And that's it for now.